This is Jilliana Ranicar-Breese, and this is part 2 of my conversation with Charlie Devus, who is going to show us his book, which he bought in Mount Athos.
There we go.
Beautiful book, and show the photograph of the actual monastery.
Well, this is the first one I stayed.
Where he stayed. I mean, there are several monasteries.
There are about 22, I think.
22 monasteries. I didn't know that.
I think there are. Yeah.
And no women whatsoever. Good to have a break from women, isn't it, Charlie?
So.
Anyway, all this started because of your friend living in Milan.
Yes, my friend, he was Greek.
He was Greek, was he?
Yes, a Greek, and he lived in Milan. He was a jeweller.
Okay.
So I stayed with him.
Yes,
and,
in Milan.
In Milano.
Yes.
And I wound up travelling. I went down to Sicily.
Yeah.
And Italy was just a bit too beautiful. I wanted to get away from it.
Oh, we'll have to quote you for the Italian tourist board.
I will. I wanted to go somewhere where it was ruinous.
Yes.
And also, I'd gone down to Sicily, and I met an American, I think he was an American sailor, who was very concerned that there was going to be a strike and no trains.
Uh-huh.
And I bought myself a weekly pass, I think. So I immediately I went back to Milan for a bit.
Yeah.
And then I went to Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if I can't.
No, we spoke about that in part 1. Yeah, we don't want to repeat that.
So,
anyway, the thing is that you were inspired to go to Thessalonica because your great-grandfather had written a book.
Yes.
Yes, which you'd read.
Yes.
Okay.
Harry Collins Sonoin was a journalist.
Yes. You mentioned him in part 1.
Oh, I did. It's my memories.
Yeah.
Yes. He'd written the book. And I'd read it a couple of years before.
Maybe he'd gone to Mount Athos. Do you think he had?
Do you know? I don't know. I don't think so because he went. He was in the war. He was during the First World War. And at the time, the British, the French, and the Russians, and the Serbs, I think, had landed in Thessalonica, and Greece was divided. So it was either pro-royalist, the royalist pro-Germans, or the sort of Republican pro-allies. So they're basically allies that had invaded Greece. Mm-hmm. So perhaps people weren't that welcome.
So basically, Mount Athos, how long had it been a monastic state? When was it kind of founded?
The 8th century.
8th century. Oh, yeah, right.
Well, it was where it would have been part of Byzantium.
Yeah, Byzantium, yes.
Now, Byzantium fell, Constantinople fell in 1453 to the Turks.
Yeah.
And so it was part of the Ottoman Empire until 1912. Yeah. Where it was taken by the Greeks. But it is actually a monastic state. Yeah. It's actually an independent...
A bit like the Vatican.
Yes, like that. So it's actually sort of the last part of the Byzantine Empire.
Okay.
And independence, but part of Greece. So it's got interesting.
So it's self-sufficient because they make wine and probably cheese, and I'm sure it's agricultural as well, isn't it?
Yes, they do. Yes. And they got a subsidy, I think, from the Greek government.
Yeah,
as well.
Probably.
Yeah, and I think.
And you said there's how many monasteries?
I'm going to say 22 because I might be including some of the skeets or skates, which are the dependencies.
And how many people are living there? Sorry, how many monks do you think?
Do you know, I don't know, but they're
hundreds?
Definitely in the hundreds, without any doubt, in the hundreds. So, yeah. I mean, there's one big Russian monastery that had only 11 monks, but it was designed for 200 militiamen. No, I think
so does that encompass other Orthodox, like the Serbian Orthodox? Yes, and
there's one Serbian and one Russian.
Right.
The rest are Greek.
Right.
I think there's a Bulgarian.
Okay.
I believe there's a Bulgarian.
So from the Balkan states.
Yes, all Balkans, mainly Greek. But
interesting.
And so
and they also paint icons.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, there's photographs in your nice book of them. With their icons, making icons.
Yes. They keep those traditions very much alive.
Yeah.
It's a very, very medieval mindset.
And they fed and watered you?
Yes.
Or wined you?
Yes. I took a bus to Oranapolis, which is the nearest town.
Right.
And very often the wives of pilgrims go there. I had a lady who was very interested in me as her husband was going off. They stay in Oranapolis, and very often they get bored. My pass was for the next day. So unfortunately the lady was disappointed.
And you were a good-looking young man.
I was.
And did you say that some people made passes at you?
Oh, one or two, yes.
One or two?
Yes.
And did they have their way?
Definitely not. None of the bloody monks did, I can tell you that. Although I did, that's to the end of my tale, there was a rather comic interlude, let's say. But as I said,
what do you mean?
Oh, I'll come to that.
What? Come to it now. What do you mean, a comic?
It's the end of the tale. It's the end of the tale. But in the meantime, I took the bus, the boat at dawn, and this sailed from Oranapolis down the coast to little port of Daphne, which is just a little village port. But there's a strange ghostly, slightly desolate feel to these, because the civil administration, there are very few people there, and I took the only vehicle on the island is a bus that goes from Daphne up to the little capital, which I've forgotten the name of now, it's in the middle. Piraeus, that's it, it's called Piraeus. And after that, I sort of officially signed in, and I said, go we feel like. So I went back down to Daphne and took a boat to Xeropatomau, which is...
Oh, you've got a good memory.
Yes, I won't... Xeropatomau is interesting because I was I was suffering from these steroids, and they were affecting my mood. So I thought, I'm really a pilgrim. I really am a pilgrim. And I'm given I'm greeted with ouzo and a cube of Greek delight. It's definitely not Turkish.
Lokum.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And I was fed, and I was shown my this is my idea.
Your cell.
My cell.
Yes.
And this is strange.
Was it comfortable?
It was reasonably comfortable.
Yeah.
I had an oil lamp, and I'm
Oh
writing,
yes, that's right.
and I am subject to a miracle, because
You told me this story, yeah.
yes,
You were going to the loo.
I need to go to the loo because I'm not too. And the corridor outside is lined with oil lamps, which suddenly they're out there. Suddenly, as I open the door, I go out. Lo, they all light up. All the oil lamps in the corridor suddenly light of their own accord.
And they weren't electrical.
I go to my these are oil lamps. I go to etc. I come back, down they go again, and this happens again. I need to go, up they go, etc. And just as I come back, down they go. Now I can't sleep very well. I have a little bit of sleep. I go out there's a Catholicon, which is the church, which is in the middle of this fortified enclosure. And I'm sitting there as the dawn is coming up, and I'm watching the monks at their morning devotions. And as the sun is coming up, it's very beautiful. And on my left, I notice there is a wind generator.
Uh-huh.
I suddenly think, is it? So I go back, and they are actually lights. It was electrical.
Oh, it was.
But that's no less of a miracle, because I am sent a wind when I needed it. So it's a technical miracle as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, well, we'll continue in part 3. Thank you, Charlie.